What's going on, guys? Thomas here with Orc Rogues, where we bring to you everything nerdy, geeky, and just plain fun. And today, we are going to be talking about Solo, a Star Wars story. For goodness sakes, it's been out for 2 weeks now. It's about time we got to it. And I expect we're going to have a good time. A lot of stuff to say, but of course, if you enjoy the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, share it with your friends. Let them know that we're out here doing this and taking this from a slightly different perspective. There's been a lot of reviews out, and I'm not going for a review in this episode, but we'll get more to that in a moment. For those of you who've been watching our shows for a while, you, I'm certain, have noticed that things are a little bit different. For one, it's just me. Derek's not here, and it's probably going to be this way for a little while. Either me, myself, or Derek on the video. And the reason that we're doing this, I work full-time, and Derek is a full-time business owner, and when we do the videos the way that we have been doing them, it requires a lot of time that I could be spending with my family, working on editing and everything. And of course, there's going to be kinks to work out along the way with this. I know, for example, that I'm already unhappy with the audio from the intro. I generally like it to go a little bit longer once I start talking, but the way I'm doing currently doesn't allow for it. So far as I know, it probably does, and I just haven't quite figured it out yet. But we'll figure it out as time passes. So, Solo: A Star Wars Story has come out with very, frankly, non-record-breaking numbers. It's one of the most underviewed Star Wars movies in history. And it was obvious when I went to go see it. I saw it opening night, one of the first showings available, and there weren't many people there at all, which is fair, because there was a lot of backlash from The Last Jedi, and the fans said they were going to speak up and let it be known with their dollar, and they did. And so now Disney and Lucasfilm has a lot to think about, and they should, because Solo was not a perfect movie. That being said, when I was in the theater actually watching the film, I did enjoy it. It was a very fun movie, a lot of action, and it flowed very smoothly. It was still a fairly long movie, but it flowed well, and that was nice. A lot of the actors did a good job. Some of them did an excellent job. I hope I'm not alone in saying this, that I was really surprised by Alden Ehrenreich, got his name, his portrayal of Han Solo. He brought a lot of the nuance that Harrison Ford brought to the role, and in ways that I honestly was not expecting. And of course, I have to mention Donald Glover was just phenomenal as Lando Calrissian. I think he did a great job, even though some people are a little bit upset with him for some of his artistic decisions recently. But that's not what this is about. This is about his portrayal in Star Wars, and I do think he did quite a good job. The other actors were mediocre. I mean, they were good, but nothing more than good. Even Woody Harrelson, he's a phenomenal actor, but he was not phenomenal in this role. And I don't want to say it's entirely his fault. I believe it was mostly from a fairly poorly written character. And that was kind of the case with the entire cast of this show. It could have been written much better. It's a lot of what the prequels suffered from, amongst other things. So, yeah, I do have a couple of complaints with that, but overall, I did enjoy what I saw from the movie. Now, that's not necessarily a good thing, and hear me out. A lot of what I saw I enjoyed because it was put there for me to enjoy. It was all fan service. We've heard about the Kessel Run, and now we've got to see it. There's no more mystery behind it. We know what happened. It took something away from talking about that in A New Hope. 12 parsecs. Well, now we see exactly what they mean by that. There's no more fun mystery to it. how Han met Chewie. It's there now. And granted, it was a great scene, but I enjoyed thinking about how Han met Chewie. And the one thing that we really didn't need from this movie is to see Han's redemption. That was one of the biggest flaws in the movie. And granted, they did carry it out differently than they did in A New Hope. But in A New Hope, we have this scoundrel who makes a bit of a turnaround right at the end there and comes in a pinch to save the day. And then when Empire Strikes Back comes in, we see that he's still kind of a scoundrel. And it's good. It's an interesting character. But in this movie, we see the same turnaround happen with a bit less of solidarity and knowing that he's a good guy. We don't quite get that from Solo, but it still happened. And on top of that, I didn't need to see a Han Solo love story. I really didn't. I have the best Han Solo love story in him and Leia in the original trilogy. I don't need to see this. It didn't work out very well, and we knew that they wouldn't be together at the end because we knew where he was in A New Hope. It was a lot of incredibly unnecessary fan service, and that's some of the problem that I'm seeing in Disney-owned Lucasfilm, is that they tend to go to one of two extremes, with the only possible exception here being Rogue One. Rogue One was truly a good movie, in my opinion. And I'm saying this, I do want to point out that I did enjoy Last Jedi. I thought it was a good movie, and I know I'm in the minority there. But Disney's Lucasfilm seems to either be going straight fan service or completely out of the box, breaking the cliches, Last Jedi stuff. For example, The Force Awakens was pretty much all fan service. They gave us exactly what we wanted on a silver platter and said, here you go. And I think I just bumped the mic. If I did, I apologize. And then Rogue One came out, and it was not the cookie cutter formula. We got something new and interesting. And in this case, since it wasn't the characters and stories that we love, it was okay. But then when they did it in Last Jedi, not so much. So, then we get Solo. And we're going back to this cookie cutter formula, the stuff that we know and love, and shoving it back in our faces. And we don't need that as fans. We don't need any of that. Which makes me really scared about what's going to happen with Episode 9. If they continue this formula, we're going to end up with another fan service film because Disney and Lucasfilm is scared with their tail between their legs trying to make things right after The Last Jedi, after the backlash from that. And they don't need to, not in my opinion. They need to do something better than The Last Jedi was. The Last Jedi certainly had its problems as much as I enjoyed it. But making something cookie cutter and entirely fan service is not what we need. And they really need to listen to that. Because the fans will continue to speak. They'll continue to let them know with their money. And then the franchise that we love will be dead eventually. So we'll see what happens. Overall, I'm not impressed with Solo. Like I said, it was an enjoyable enough experience. I think any Star Wars fan will say, okay, yeah, that was good. That was good. Movie critics are not going to be happy with it, and that's fine. But overall, I'm really disappointed in you, Disney. I don't know really what you were thinking with that. And I hope you do better for Episode 9, but I said when The Last Jedi comes out that if they continue this path, I will not be seeing more Star Wars movies in theaters. And so far, I'm still going to give it till Episode 9. But so far, it looks like I'm going to have to keep that promise. So, we'll see what happens. But for now, that's about all I have to say about that. Anyways, best way to keep up with all things Orc Rogues is by following the links in the description below. And of course, we also have our Twitch channel where you can reach out with us directly in real time and watch us play games and stuff. And that is awesome. That is twitch.tv/orcrogues. And we always have our website, www.orcrogues.com, where you can find everything Orc Rogues, including what has been the Morning After blog, and that may continue as it has been. If you would like to see it continue like that, please let me know in the comments. Or if you'd like to see me talk about something completely different in the blog, let me know that as well. But of course, as always, until next time, we are Orc Rogues.